I haven't tested this setup. Got it.
This
There's
will
the got
not
it
look
button.
good on a resume.
How do I record? Why?
I am also
Okay.
recording my individual channel because I know you like to have top quality
Testing.
audio.
Testing. Okay, here's
In that case, let
Hello,
me record
Peter.
too.
What's happening?
yeah. Hello, Peter.
I have the memo.
Peter has the memo. So what were we talking about a minute ago, Peter? Oh, your running profile picture.
My running profile picture, indeed.
Yeah, but we have more important things than that.
We do. Like getting me onto my freaking AirPods for my audio.
No, I was talking about Adam. Adam
Oh.
Bell is here. He's a friend with a brew.
Friend with a brew.
And all you can think about is your ears and your AirPods.
I brewed coffee today.
Yay! I brewed coffee too. I didn't do a fancy French press.
Yeah.
I did a not fancy AeroPress.
I've got too much coffee that I should not drink at, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. There's plenty of time before I go to bed.
Absolutely.
Yeah, just the rule is not after 2 o'clock. So just pound whatever you've got right now.
Pound it.
You and your rules. I will lie in bed in the evening reading, drinking a coffee, and then I will go right to sleep. I don't.
It's different for everybody. people are different.
No, they're not.
So I do have a French
People
press.
are not different. Okay, people are not different. You heard it here, folks. Scott says
people
so. People are not
We're
different.
all the same.
We're all one person.
I do have a French press origination story for me anyway.
Ooh, an origin story.
Oh yeah. So I went to, before I get to the actual story, so I went on my honeymoon to Jamaica. And while in Jamaica, yes, she did. Matter of fact, she joined me. And while we were in Jamaica, we had some of the best coffee that we ever had. I mean, we weren't big coffee drinkers at the time, and found out it was Blue Mountain, which is among the best coffee in the world. So obviously it was good. So we went to, fast forward another, I don't know, bunch of years. We went to Belize, and they brought out a French press, and they brought like a family style. It was a great big one. And she brought it, set it on the table, and I said, what do we do with this? I mean, well, you just press it, and then you can you show me, because so she showed me, and we poured it, and it was the best, this was way better than the Blue Mountain coffee that I'd had years prior. And I was like, this is really good. What type of coffee is this? And she said, well, it's just a house brand. And I didn't believe them, because thinking back to Jamaica, Blue Mountain is a house brand in Jamaica. So I'm like, okay, what's the Belizean equivalent to this awesome coffee that I'm drinking? And she said, well, it's just bought it at the store. So can you bring me the can? I want to see this. And it was a big can, as if it were like Folgers, so it was just regular house coffee, but the preparation made such a big difference in it. I was like, I must French press from here on out.
Now, do you have a sense for how fresh that coffee was? In a can?
No clue. I mean,
so I'm just wondering, like, was it canned like the day before, right next door or something? Or,
yeah, I mean, it was like a Fred's equivalent, red Folgers like can. I'm like, all right.
I thought, Peter, I thought you were going to ask how French the coffee was.
Yeah.
The coffee.
Bonjour.
Okay. I also have another brew. Peter, you and I talked about this one.
All right.
Talk to me.
This is a delirium. I don't need to talk to you. You just have to look at your screen.
Yes. Oh, yes. Belirium. Yes, I like that.
A Belgian ale with cherry and elderberry. So here's my confession. I actually drank one of these the other night, and I have to say, a little bit sweet. It's a lot like drinking cherry syrup.
I was like, say it kind of looks like a, what's cheer wine?
Yeah, and I don't know if I'm going to drink this whole thing, because I do have some professional obligations.
Is it supposed to be like a lambic?
What?
Lambic. It's a style of beer.
I don't know. It says Frederick on it. Apparently, Frederick's in fifth
Frederick
place.
Lambic. That sounds similar.
Yeah, there's blah, 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 blah. It just says Belgian ale. Belgian. Why am I saying Belgian today?
Belgian.
It's a Belgian.
Because you're drunk.
Have you been spending time in the
Belgian.
southern United States?
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, I'm probably not going to finish this whole thing. Well, I did just eat a gigantic lunch in preparation for this, so maybe I will drink the whole thing. But I hope that nobody that I know is listening to this, because I have some professional obligations after this. So my intention is to not get buzzed at all.
Don't get fired at Monolith 3000.
Yep.
Or even away from Monolith 3000.
Well, I mean, you can get fired later. Who cares?
Oh, just don't get fired at Monolith 3000.
Right. Fire
That's
on
more
prem or it
embarrassing.
doesn't count.
Yeah.
Speaking of firing things, should we use that as a quick transition
my
before we go
God.
into tech? Let's before we go into our tech, let's talk about someone else's tech. So, dear listener, I don't know if you're aware, but the world's richest man scraped up some couch change, from the cushions there, sold off a bunch of Tesla stock and bought Twitter. And I think John Siracusa summed it up best, where he's been basically doing things since taking over this business that if anyone else did, you would say this person's an idiot. But because he's a billionaire, people are saying, wow, he's brilliant.
He's a brilliant idiot.
He's playing three-dimensional chess with Twitter.
No, he's just being an idiot. Oh my goodness. I love the latest I just heard was that that email that he sent out to all should we recap? Let's step it back.
Let's recap.
Let's recap.
Yeah, go ahead.
So Twist bought
The night before Christmas.
Twas the night before Twitter. Yeah.
Plus the night before Mastodon. So Musk put in several months ago, an announcement in classic Elon Musk fashion saying that he was going to buy Twitter. And this did all kinds of funny things to the stock market and the valuation of both Twitter and Tesla. I don't remember where it all ended up, but I am sure that, millions, if not billions, were made just because of the waves that he threw out, and I am sure also that he profited amongst that too, even though, maybe not directly, but
Well,
somehow.
not only that, but he said he wanted to buy it, and then he said he didn't want to buy it. He tried to back out. So I'm sure that had corresponding
exactly.
And he went too far too. There were legal ramifications.
Yes. Right. And and for once he actually had to follow through on these, the SEC or whoever held his feet to the fire. So thank goodness for that.
Wait. Normally I would say thank goodness for that, because the law should be followed. If you make a legally binding commitment, you should be forced to follow it. However, maybe not this time.
Maybe not this time. Yeah. Maybe it would have been better if he didn't. But he still, even if he hadn't bought it, he still did, would have profited tons and, done irreparable harm to a lot of people because of their Twitter stock. Because I assure you, there are plenty of people out there who, like me, one day after one of his proclamations on Tesla, I'm going to take it to 420. Because he was doing things a few years ago that was causing the Tesla stock to spike and then plummet faster than Bitcoin. So
there's nothing that fast here. Yeah.
Tesla, no, dude. He took Tesla stock and he put it to plaid, man. He put Tesla stock in ludicrous mode. Anyway, Tesla coin. So, Tesla stock was bouncing up and down all over the place. And some people like me said, I've had enough of this. I'm out. And I sold at a loss just because I was done with this guy, because, I was just sick of my money, being thrown around on a whim like him. And so I can imagine there were people who owned a lot more Tesla who were hurt by this. I know there were people who owned a lot more Twitter stock than I did that were hurt by this. So then he comes back afterwards and says, okay, I will buy it and we're fast forwarding through all of his, shenanigans, like, oh, I'm not going to buy Twitter because it's full of bots and blah, 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 blah. So then he comes back and buys it. And what did he do on day one? Fired the CEO, the COO, and a bunch of other executives.
Mm-hmm.
And wasn't Dorsey? Was Dorsey that was the CEO though, right? I don't think he fired Dorsey.
I thought Dorsey had already stepped down though.
Dorsey was. Oh, that's true. Yeah. You're right.
So he comes in and
he got
starts
rid of all those people.
Yeah, starts cleaning house. fires like now, and one of the biggest problems that they're having with Twitter is like validation, verification, and like sense harassment and stuff. And apparently he fired like either all of or most of the team that is required for like content moderation, which is wonderful. And just like hearing constant stories about this where he's just doing the same kind of stuff. And he's like, it's not like he's shooting first and asking questions later. He's just shooting left and right, not even asking
just shooting
questions
first. There's no questions.
Yeah, exactly. So the latest I just heard was, he sent this email out. We should get a copy of the email. We should definitely tag it, but a copy of the email that was sent to all Twitter employees. I'm sure we can find it. Basically he's telling everybody, giving everyone a deadline of like midnight last night or something, that if you're going to stay part of hardcore Twitter, and batten down the hatches, and be prepared to work 24/7. I'm just paraphrasing, ad-libbing now, but essentially sending out an email to everybody saying if you either can stay or you go. And apparently it was reviewed by an attorney who specializes in employment law, and was saying how like so much of the content of this email was labor law violations. So anyway,
Elon Musk himself is a labor law violation.
Yeah, there you go. He is.
Here's the thing, Peter. If going back to the purchase thing, if he would have just manipulated the stock price and caused damage that way, that would have been bad enough. But that was a hold my beer thing for the show that was to come.
Well, and that's illegal.
Yes.
It's to manipulate stock prices.
Yeah, and yet he does it all the time.
I know, but he either does it in a way that they can't prove that that's what he's doing, or no one cares about laws anymore. I don't know which.
Well, no one does care, because he's been doing this kind of stuff for a while now. So I'm looking online trying to find a complete. I find references to extremely hardcore Twitter, and this article on Business Insider or CNN refers to how when the Tesla Model 3 was lagging in production, that he would slept on the floor at the Tesla factory. I'm like, is that
he was just drunk?
Is that is that supposed to be inspiration? Like I just. So the guys over on ATP, I think they hit the nail on the head a lot when they're talking about how to manage people and how not to manage people. And just, he's just doing stupid stuff. He doesn't know how to interface with people like at all. No, and, and we're just seeing it. So anyway, major dick. He's the world's richest dick.
He's the world's richardest Richard. He's the richest Richard.
Oh, he's the richest of the rich.
So anyway, when last time, Peter, in the episode that I put out on Monday, we talked about Twitter, and I said my plan was to stay on Twitter. It still is, but I think we didn't soft pedal it, and we didn't understate it. We said what we thought about Elon Musk, but we hadn't, at the time that we recorded that, we hadn't seen the immense rapid pace at which he was going to try to destroy the company and the service itself. Like, they have no network security people right now, basically. I don't know. The guy is just. So here's the thing, Syracuse made an excellent point about how it's one thing to work people to death if you have a startup and you don't have a product.
Yep.
They have a product. They don't have to do this. Instead, what he's doing is tearing down the existing product. And that's the part that I don't like to see. And if Twitter becomes basically a harassment free-for-all, then sure, I'll use it less. And I'm already using it less.
Yeah.
But I don't plan to quit Twitter for right now. But I do think it's a massive shame what he's doing to it, because people have become very reliant on it as a news distribution network. If it wasn't for the fact that people relied on it for information, this wouldn't matter so much. If it was literally just social.
Yeah.
Do you think he's intentionally plumbering it on purpose?
I don't know. I don't know if the guy has that much of a plan.
Yeah, it's hard to say. So did you read the article in The Atlantic, Adam? I know Scott sent it to me, which had all kinds of copies of his text messages.
I didn't read that, or I didn't read all those.
That one it's insightful because you've got all kinds of Silicon Valley bigwigs like Larry Ellison, Jason Calacanis, and I forget who, and they're all just kissing Elon's ass, trying to get a piece of the action. But it's like,
have any of those guys that you've named right there ever struck you as anything more than weasels?
Yes, Larry Ellison is not just a weasel; he's evil. Calacanis is just a weasel.
Okay.
So yeah, Larry Ellison is an evil weasel. So but like just showing like their business plan, so to speak, for like, how are we going to revolutionize Twitter? Well, we're going to democratize it. I'm like, wait, what? But that's like the extent of their quote unquote business plans are a couple of concepts that they text back and forth. And these are the richest, some of the most powerful, influential people on the planet. It's wonderful.
So the one thing that I think is, look, I get that journalism isn't perfect. I'm sure there's lots of journalists that, we're all human. We have biases. There are journalists that bring their biases in, blah, blah, blah. You can go on and on. But to talk about democratized journalism basically just means it's the same as when, see something, say something. Amateur security, amateur actors give amateur results. Same thing with democratized journalism. Like, people in general, they don't know how to source stuff. They don't know how to verify stuff. They don't know how to avoid conflicts of interest. They don't know how to do any of this stuff. There's a reason why journalism exists as a profession. But Elon Musk just wants to wipe it all out and have everyone be their own journalist.
Yep.
Which, it's just like people making up stuff, and I don't know. It's basically going to be a conspiracy theory newsletter.
Pretty much. I mean, the thing is that it's not unlike the whole drain the swamp plan that we were given in the 2016 election cycle.
That completely filled the swamp.
Exactly. It was build a wall, drain the swamp. Build a swamp. Just compile. Just consolidate the efforts, right? So
you've watched the Orville, right?
Oh yeah.
So you've seen all season. I've not gotten past the first season. But there was the episode where it was the Democratic vote. Everybody had a pin, and they were either thumbed up or thumbed down, and based on your popularity in the world, bad things would happen to you.
Yes.
It's almost like that. I mean, it wasn't based on facts. It was based on, do I like something right now? Did this sensationalize me right now to like or dislike? And it was the right and wrong.
The Orville is great political commentary, and it hits so many points and drives them right home. And I do maintain the assertion that it is a better Star Trek than Star Trek.
It does sound pretty good. It's on what is that on?
Hulu. It's on Hulu, Disney Plus. You can get it on Disney Plus now.
Oh, it is?
Yep.
I thought it was on Hobo or something I don't have.
It was on Hulu, and then they moved it to Disney Plus too.
Well, I think it's on both Hulu and Disney Plus.
Yeah, so you can find it either way.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, that was part of the Disney Fox, Studios acquisition stuff there. So.
Although Disney Plus is the worst app of all of them, as far as like it's quality, buffering, running. It's always buffering on me.
I actually haven't had that. I don't think. We've only watched some of the Star Wars stuff on it. I mean, my daughter, I think, watched some of the Marvel stuff, but
I watch all the Marvel stuff. That's what I do.
I know you do. God damn it, Peter.
Hey, I didn't tell about what coffee I'm drinking today.
Okay.
I was going to do a brew today. I was going to do a beer because it's, afternoon my time today. But I actually, I went back to my standard old Wegmans espresso whole bean decaf. I did grind the beans, though. I'm not drinking whole beans right now, Scott. I knew you'd ask that. Because I figure, I don't want to be up late. My sleep would be disturbed. And my sleep was already disturbed last night as it was. And because I'm pounding painkillers like they're candies, I did not want to add alcohol to the mix.
By the way, Peter, I have a confession to make. This is what I drink my coffee out of every day, and I drink several cups of this per day. So when I see your little coffee mug, it's like, oh, cute little coffee shot glass.
You should read my mug, though.
It's a cat in the dryer, cat food.
I like that. That's hilarious.
Oh please, oh please.
Gary
Is
Larson.
that a
my
Far
friend.
Side? Yes, Gary
The Far
Larson.
Side.
Yeah. I like that one. Oh please, oh please.
Please,
It was the
oh,
oh please, oh
please.
please that Adam said that reminded me that I'd seen that one
Please, oh,
before.
please.
That's awesome.
Oh, brother. So yeah, we'll get
Oh,
back
my
to the
God.
painkiller stuff later. But what's up with Mastodon or Mastodon or Mastodon?
Well, I just wanted to talk about it because everybody's talking about Mastodon as the place to go, and it's
Yes.
the new Twitter or whatever. But oh my God, if enough people go there, if it's going to actually become a Twitter substitute, there's going to be a major culture war that has to happen. Because I understand that the people who are there have built up a culture, and they want it to be a safe place, and they don't want to feel harassed or tense based on topics, and I get that. But those people freaking content warning everything. Like, a lot of people on Mastodon believe that you have to content warning any discussion of food, for example.
Food.
Yeah, food.
Well, what
'Cause
if it's really
some people
spicy?
well, I understand that people
I
have
can't talk
eating
about peanuts
disorders,
because
but-
they blow me up. I'll die.
right.
I'm upset.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, I don't know. Anyway, and besides all that, there's the whole fact that you have to have a half-hour conversation with people to explain to them what it is. Twitter was one service, one place. You don't have to say, oh, well, which instance should I sign up on? You just sign up. You don't have to understand that. How come I can't see so-and-so on that server? Oh, well, this instance has
Yes.
that server blocked. You don't have to have all those conversations with people.
Yep.
And then finally, because it's a bunch of instances, they all kind of get to do what they want. And also they're running these things out of their own pockets.
Yep.
So many an instance has gone belly up the minute enough people join because, hey, all of a sudden somebody's hosting bills got really expensive for some reason. I don't know why. So I don't know. I don't see Mastodon as the answer to all our problems. I think for a certain niche it is, but if it's ever going to become home to journalists and athletes and, you know, all the normal people that are on Twitter, there's going to be a major culture war first, and things are going to change whether the Macedonians like it or not. It just has to change in order to be used by normal people.
There seems to be a definite parallel between you know, it's like Twitter is to Windows as Mastodon is to Linux. You know,
Yeah,
it's like you say,
that's
I'm going to
fair.
run Linux. Okay, well, which distribution? Wait, what? And then which desktop window manager do you want? And
How come my sound card isn't working?
Yeah, well, at least we still have sound issues over on the Mac now just to make it easy. Actually, I didn't today. Did anyone have audio issues today when we started recording?
No.
Nope.
I think that's a first.
So I figured out Mastodon's going to have to monetize with porn. That's what they're going to do.
Oh my God, I don't want to see elephants engaging in pornography.
There's got to be a porn Mastodon hub thing that you can.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I didn't see any, but I mean, things
Extinct
like,
animals getting it on.
you know, because I used to like Tumblr, which I don't really go there,
right?
Because there were some really cool artsy posts and things that I like to see, just cool photos and
Artsy.
And there still were at the end, or there still is. I think it still exists.
Yeah.
But yeah, at some point they decided to actually put the word Tumblr in Tumblr.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't really go there. I don't really go to Instagram anymore because it just, yeah.
You don't go to Porngram and
Porn
Pornblur?
Yeah, Pornblur.
You know, the thing is that
yeah,
it doesn't matter what technology it is. Human beings are always going to use it for porn. It just seems to always end up that way.
The print, the greatest, you know, the greatest conversion of knowledge. Next thing you do, we have a nudie magazine.
Yep. VCRs.
It was just like that.
Streaming
just
video.
like that.
The French press.
Oh my God, it's not the French press. I think that's a different kind of press, but okay.
I can't believe what they did with that one.
You heard that song that one of the comedians that the internet's great for porn.
Oh yeah,
it's like a little jingle.
The internet is for porn. Well, yeah,
internet is really, really great for porn.
Well,
you know.
See, I don't know. I still think the internet is cat videos.
Cat videos.
I mean, you could combine those if you wanted.
I don't want. I do not want, Peter.
No. Do not want.
No.
All right. Well, let's talk about technology.
Technologically. All
Yeah,
right.
so Scott, kick us off. You said that you got some new tech recently.
I didn't just say that I bought new tech. I did buy new tech, and I want to show you guys this.
Ooh. Hey, it's me. I know that guy.
Fantastic.
Wait, can you see the laptop there?
See, I'm a minimalist. Like my desk is like yours, very minimal.
Yeah. And so I have the laptop up on a stand, so I can use it as a second monitor. And also because it has Touch ID and stuff on the keyboard, I want to be able to get access to the Touch ID. But yeah, it makes a great second monitor. By the way, so here's what I bought. I bought a 2021 14-inch M1 Pro MacBook Pro. It is 10 CPU core, 16 GPU core, 16 gigabytes of RAM, which I honestly wanted to go higher. But it's actually really efficient. I've got so much stuff running. Used to be on my iMac, I would shut everything else down except for the apps I needed to do podcasting with. I didn't close any of my stuff down. I have VS Code running. I've got Chrome. I've got Transmit. I've got Safari. I've got Audio Hijack. I've got it all running right now, and it's fine. It does totally fine. But yeah, so anyway, and then a 1 terabyte SSD. So the reason why I bought now, and the reason why I bought this particular one, even though I was planning on waiting and getting something with a little more RAM and maybe a bigger hard drive, was Amazon had these for $500 less than Apple was selling them for.
Oh.
And so
big sale.
I was like, you know what? The difference in price between the custom one that I wanted Apple to build for me and this one that Amazon will sell me with these specs is $1,600. That's the difference in price between what I thought I was going to eventually buy versus this price. So I was like, you know what? And then somebody that I know and trust has this exact same model, and they said, dude, this is more than adequate for you. You don't need to worry about more RAM or anything like that. So I went with it, and man, super happy. Great laptop.
So you went with the 14 instead of the 13.
Well, the 13 is not a computer you want.
Yeah.
It doesn't have, first of all, the M1 in it isn't as good. Secondly, it's still the old body. It still has the touch bar. It doesn't have as good of, it doesn't have the better keyboard. It doesn't have, it's just not a good computer compared to, and no, I would not have bought that. It would have basically been buying older, not so good technology. And I honestly, I think the 14-inch is the best compromise because I want some screen size, because I already have used this as a laptop quite a bit, and I want to be able to run VS Code and Chrome on it side by side. And I have my work laptop is now, I had a 16-inch HP at work. I thought I liked it. I thought I wanted all that screen. And then I got a Lenovo ThinkPad T14, which is a 14-inch. And it's just so nice. It's so nice. And by the way, Lenovo build quality is so much better than HP. I can't even tell you, but
I'm with you there.
But the 14-inch form factor really hit home for me. So that's how I knew that I would like the 14-inch MacBook Pro. And I think it's a really good compromise. It's got a bunch of Thunderbolt ports. It's got plenty of power. Like I said, it ticks every box.
Nice. Yeah. Because I've been considering, I want an ultra portable. I want something that I can pull out on a plane and actually take some notes and work. And the 13, I could do that, but I also think I could do that with the 14. I certainly can't do that with my MacBook Pro 16.
No, I think you could get away with it with the 14. Now, I will give Peter, I will acknowledge to Peter, though I don't consider this to be a heavy laptop, I do think that probably compared to his M2 Air, he would probably think it was. I mean, Apple does make metal computers. They don't make them out of plastic. So any additional thickness does add noticeable weight.
Does it get hot in your lap? If it's in your lap? No?
No, I haven't. I've never heard the fans.
Nice.
I haven't bounced audio on this or done anything like that yet. When I edit this and I bounce it in Logic, I'll see what happens. But no, I haven't. And that used to be why I hated laptops. That's why I had the the iMac for so long, and that's why I went away from using laptops. Was I just hated all the heat. I hated the heat. I hated the noise. They were just massively compromised machines, and I didn't like it. And so, but the Apple Silicon has really changed that for Apple's laptops. They have all the power you want. They're quiet. They're cool. Yeah.
I am surprised though, still, like I'm noticing I'm getting more beach balls lately on my Mac now. Like just moving to Slack and stuff, moving back and forth between programs every now and then. I see like just random beach balls out of nowhere. And I haven't
It probably
taken
depends
any
on what you're
time to-
using, because like Slack is specifically one application that's, yeah, and it's not super memory efficient.
Yeah.
And you probably use Chrome as your browser.
Edge.
Oh, you
but
use
it's
Edge,
Chromium
which is Chromium.
based.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's that,
is
and I
pretty-
also am spending a lot of time in Citrix VDIs for the hospital. So there's the deck is stacked against me. But I guess I am glad though that I have a relatively powerful processor to drive all those.
My doctor told me to stay away from VDIs, but
yeah, that's pretty good. VDIs, STDs, etc. So.
Penicillin billers are going up.
Yeah. And then I got an Apple Studio display to go with it. And honestly, the Apple Studio display in a way is a lot like my 5K iMac screen, but it is brighter. It's 5K, it's 27-inch, but the nice thing is it doesn't have an iMac attached to it. And I got the Visa mount model, and so it's on the Visa arm that my iMac used to be on. And yeah,
I have a Visa arm, and all it's doing right now is it's the stand for my microphone. That's all it's doing at the back, because I have one ultra wide display that I'm using, and that's pretty much it at this point. So, and it's not a Visa mount.
Wow, I need a nice monitor like that.
Chances are your monitor doesn't need to be a Visa mount model. Most monitors, you just unscrew the stand and you stick them on a Visa mount. Apple's the only one where you have to buy a specific monitor that has a Visa mount on it.
But what I'm saying, I thought you have. That's what I'm saying. Those like in the back, if it has those 4 things, isn't that called the Visa mount? Isn't that the four prongs of the 4 screws?
Oh, it just has to have 4 screws. But your stand is mounted by 4 screws. Probably. What model monitor do you have?
It's an LG ultra wide something.
Yeah, undoubtedly it's got 4 screws in the back of the stand. You may have to pop off a cover to see them.
Yeah.
I've unfortunately bought monitors lately that were not VESA mount compatible. Like they had their own unique, and they did not include the 4. Yeah, it was, and they were 27-inch monitors too. So I bought
what
them.
Brand were these?
Oh, they were. They were like they weren't ViewSonic, but they were like an Acer. So I either buy Acer or ViewSonic or Samsung. Those are our monitors. But yeah, I made the mistake, and one of my guys like, okay, you don't get a monitor stand, you get, or you don't get the arms. He's like, yeah, it's fine, I don't care, whatever.
I know the ViewSonics. We have some ViewSonics at work, and I know those are always, at least the ones we have, you can take out the stand and put them on a Visa.
Yeah. But I can't believe I missed that when I was buying it. I was like, oh,
that is weird. Honestly, there's no reason to do that. I know why Apple does it, because they have super fancy integrated stands, and their Visa mount works, and they don't want screws on the back of their devices, right? That is literally why. And so, yeah,
because you can see those.
That's right.
Yeah, exactly. Along with cables and cables in the product shots too. We don't have those. All right.
Yeah. So I got a little CalDigit Thunderbolt hub /dock, and so it connects all my Thunderbolt accessories, and it also has USB-A for like my interface to my mic and any other USB. And I took my second SSD out of my iMac, and it's now a second drive that attaches to the Thunderbolt dock, and then the Thunderbolt dock powers the MacBook Pro through Thunderbolt. So
nice.
Cool. Yeah.
Sweet.
Cannot complain.
Yep. I bought mine in December of 2019, my MacBook Pro. So I got to at least make it 3 or 4 years out of it.
Yeah. Well, my iMac was a 2015. So.
Oh yeah, that's a long run.
So for the first time in that I can remember, I am current with the latest and greatest in everything that I have in the Apple world right now. I take that back. Nope, I'm wrong. My AirPods are older generation. But as far as anything with a screen, anything with a screen, I have the Apple Watch Ultra. I got the iPhone 14 Pro. I have a MacBook M2 Air, and I have an iPad Mini, which is still the latest iPad Mini.
Well, Peter, I can't believe you held us up at the very beginning, preciously stuffing your Gen 1 AirPods Pro into your ears. That
I know. I feel like such a loser.
Yep. Peter's a technology pendulum. He gets I'm on the latest stuff, and then he goes, I'm not buying anything new for 2 years.
Yeah, I know.
I'm gonna keep this junk running. Peter, just buy a new one. No, I promised myself I wouldn't buy new gear for 2 years.
Yep. And then
and
then something snaps, just like a tendon in my knee, and I go.
Oh, I was just gonna. When you said that, I actually felt, before you even said tendon, I felt my knee twinge on behalf of you. But no, I think keeping technology and using it as long as possible is, I mean, not only is it cheaper than not doing it, but it's also, I don't know, it's just the right thing. There's so much electronic garbage in the world.
Until you get to a point when it's really slowing you down, though,
Yeah. But I'm not saying inconvenience yourself.
Yeah.
But exactly. I am saying the tech nerds on podcasts that always buy everything new every single year.
Well, otherwise, you got to get listeners, man. How else are you going to get listeners?
I have to talk about it, they say, and then they never talk about it.
Right. So I have not played with Adam. Have you played with the satellite SOS feature on your iPhone?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
I have not tried that.
Peter used it. Oh, I thought you used it the other day when your leg broke in half.
Yeah.
No, I wish I did have it, but
then you could have used it, but you really can't use it for anything other than emergency services.
Right.
So you really can't practice that.
But
they do have a practice mode. There's a practice mode. I don't know any of the details about it, but there is a practice mode. I think what it does is, I think it just actually doesn't. I think it simulates, but it doesn't just actually deliver the message.
It doesn't make an actual call.
But it makes sure that it can connect to the satellite and so forth.
Yeah, here at my farm, I'm on SOS the whole time. I mean, I go out to my front field. It doesn't pick up anything.
So yeah, there's a bunch of articles on that, and
Adam,
I guess I'll go straight to the one from Apple. But yeah, you go to settings, go to emergency SOS, and under emergency SOS via satellite, tap try demo.
I want to have to try the demo.
We should try that.
A long time ago, I had a neighbor who was what did he call himself? Anyway, his whole business was acting on behalf of cell companies to find tower locations for them. And he would go to landowners and broker these deals. You could make some serious money. You could subsidize your farm if you would just let them stick a couple super ugly cancer-causing towers right in the middle of your farm.
Right in the middle of my lavender. I want to make everything.
Yes, that's right.
Homeopathic with a touch of radiation.
Just a touch.
Just the right amount, right?
Just the right amount of
just
radiation.
The right amount of radiation. Hey, do you want lavender that glows in the dark or not?
Well, that's purple glowing lavender. Now that's some cool stuff right there.
You could make more money.
Adam, remind me, which iPhone are you on now? The 14 Pro?
14 Pro.
So we have the same phone for once.
Not okay. Because I'm not on the big phone guy.
Right.
Yeah, but the difference is Adam's works with his AirPods.
Yeah, because I don't have any.
Yeah, I was gonna say, does Adam even have AirPods?
I have Jabras. The Jabras always work.
Yeah.
Adam's non-existent AirPods don't make a buzzing noise.
Yeah. So I'm gonna give that a try. I'm gonna go out to the front field and see if the emergency SOS works.
Watch a helicopter show up on your property.
Yeah.
And explain that to your wife. Explain that $30,000 bill to your wife.
Yeah. We are here to take you to prison for falsely, like, dude, it says demo.
Yeah, you know how much it costs to demo a helicopter out here?
Yeah.
I mean,
It's
considering
not
how much
cheap.
it costs to have an ambulance show up, I can't imagine what would happen if you had to foot the bill for the helicopter coming out.
Oh, wow.
I
So-
should be able to find those because my father never throws anything away, and I'm
Don't
sure
they measure
he
fuel
has.
in thousands of dollars per minute or hundreds of dollars per minute?
I
or
was
something?
gonna say it's something like gallons per mile or something.
Yeah.
So funny story. We on 911. Peter's heard the story, but I don't know, Scott, if you've heard this story. So I had a new tech, and we were putting in voice over IP phone systems, and whenever we set up a new site, we do a test call to the 911 system where they are. And our standard procedure was you dial 911, and then you immediately tell the dispatcher, this is a test call to confirm that this is that the address is properly showing up. They it takes just a couple minutes. They document the system. They repeat back your address. They hang up on you, clear the channel, typically 30 seconds. And I described this to the tech, what he was going to experience. He said, no, I'm not doing that because it's illegal to call 911 when it's not a emergency. Not illegal, but you're not supposed to do that. I said, no, this is part of the testing process. This is not some joke or hazing. This is, and I wouldn't do a joke like that. Well, the 911 dispatcher lost it with him, said, you don't call this line as a test line. There's a test phone number that you're supposed to call, and you should have called this number. And he was like, oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't know. I was informed. And she said, well, the police are being dispatched to your location. And they were. They dispatched the police. He's like, and he showed up.
He swatted himself.
He swatted himself. And so I explained to him, I was like, this was the procedure that we've done every time we deploy a new VoIP system. So I've never heard of this phone number before. Let's write it down. Let's use that for the testing. I mean, we don't want to cause problems, but we had a police officer show up to make sure that there wasn't an emergency.
You should have said he was a criminal.
Yeah. This guy, get him out of here.
Yeah, get him out of here. I don't know who he is.
He's hijacked my office.
That's hilarious. That guy never believed a word you said ever.
No, he wouldn't. It's funny as we go to church together.
He's like, that guy's a liar. That guy's a
He's
liar.
a liar.
Yeah. He needs to confess some sins.
Yeah. He gets people
hilarious.
in trouble.
Oh my God. That is so awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, I hope that guy enjoyed every second of it.
Now, so Peter, I mentioned it to you, my iPhone 14, one of the problems is a button placement. I take a lot of screenshots unintentionally now when I'm trying to lock the screen.
It's okay to be proud of your home screen, Adam.
Well, because they're right beside each other.
I did that when I first went from an iPhone that had the button on top to the iPhone that had them opposing.
So when you're trying to push just the power button, you're pushing the power button and a volume.
Yeah, because my hand on the other side is just where my finger is landing, and then I press it and they automatically push each other. Because my 12 was not right there; it was higher.
Right, correct.
Yep. Yeah, it did take
I had
me
the
a
same
little
problem,
getting used
Adam.
to.
But yeah, like Peter, eventually my hand
found a new spot.
It must have. I didn't consciously think about it, but I know that I'm not taking screenshots all the time anymore.
Yep.
And my phone is a little bit heavier. The 14 Pro is a little bit heavier. I don't mind it. It feels a little bit sturdier in my hand. I don't know. It's like having a good pistol. It's nice and heavy.
Well, mine's not, but it's because I stepped down from the 12 Pro Max. So I went down from my first big phone ever. And while I do like using the big screen and stuff, when I'm holding the phone and using it with both hands, I do like the bigger screen. But as far as portability and fitting into my pockets and fitting into my flip belt when I'm running, and I'm kind of happier with a smaller phone. So I'm kind of happy that I stepped back.
Are you
the only thing I would say is your legs are weaker now, Peter, because you're not carrying the bigger phone, and so
that's why I had that problem
injury
yesterday. Oh man, now it all makes sense now. Jeez.
Yeah. Are you a swipe keyboard person?
It depends on my mood. I am, and then I'll start making more and more typos, so then I stop, and then I'll be typing one tap at a time, and I'm like, oh, I'm going so slow, and then I'll switch back to swipe. So I go back and forth.
Yeah, I just that was one of the things that I liked about Android was the swipe keyboard way back when it first came out, and then I like it. I mean, that's all I use, but there's still stupid password or stupid words that come up that have nothing to do with what I typed or was typing.
They do, but here's the weird thing for me, Adam. I find that when I type normal, autocorrect does way dumber things as opposed to swipe, which usually, like, I can just go swoosh and I'm like, it's never going to get that word.
Yeah.
And it gets it.
Mhm.
So somehow the swipe algorithm seems smarter than the normal one. And why aren't they the same? I don't know, but
I'd agree with that.
I go back and forth too.
It's easy to get rid of that bad word though. I mean, it's because you just hit the backspace once and it kills the whole word, which does make it nice.
Yeah, every now and then I shoot myself in the foot with that, where I just want to get rid of the last character or something, or the last two characters, and then it deletes the whole word. But yes, that is super nice. It's really well thought out.
And
I
also will use, now I will use the swipe on my iPad because I didn't know that it was available there, but it is.
But
I
only if you have the little screen, right?
That drives me crazy.
Why?
I mean, it makes sense.
Why?
But what?
Because
why,
you can download third-party ones that work
code.
fine, and
they
you
just
can
use the
download
same
third-party
code.
keyboards that work in full screen, full size.
It makes sense, but to be swiping, if you're in landscape mode on an iPad Pro, to be swiping from side to, you're basically doing a painting. Yeah, you're doing impressionist paintings at that point.
We all have swords.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not that bad on the iPad Mini though.
Right.
So.
Well,
yeah,
you're a mini man, Peter.
Yeah, but even in portrait mode though, I think you could get away with this. You're like, so
yeah. So I like it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
All right, what else we got?
You apparently did you? Yeah, I thought you talked about your new Sonos last time. You did. You talked about it.
But I got more.
Oh.
So,
oh boy.
Yeah. So
okay,
now
Marco.
I have on
okay, Marco.
not counting the basement. I have one Sonos.
Wait, Sonos makes a basement?
Speaker. No, they don't make a basement. I have Sonos speakers in the basement, but I don't have the newer Sonos.
Are they on the ceiling of the basement?
No, it's just sitting on a shelf. But what I do have is I have the Sonos voice assistant installed on the top 3 floors of my house, which is really, really nice. I paid an extra $20 or something like that, so I can just say, hey Dingus, group this room with that room. And so like if I have something playing on the first floor and I hobble my way up to the second floor and it's not playing there, I can just yell to the one in the bathroom, hey, group bathroom 2 with living room, and then it starts, the music follows around.
I don't want to group my bathroom with my living room.
It's pretty cool. So
is it its own thing, or are you using
No.
So what is its name? It must have a name.
Sonos. It's Hey Sonos.
Oh, that's so lame. You can't name it after the device it's on. Everyone knows that.
Yeah.
Well, you refer to it as the living room or whatnot, but
I don't understand.
You say, hey, living room?
No, you say, hey, Sonos, do something.
That's what I mean. But
room.
Most of the other companies, their device has their assistant has a different name than whatever device.
Well, you can with the Amazon stuff, you can say, hey, Echo.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I don't understand why you can't in this iteration of the assistants, why you can't name the assistant anything that you want, because it's completely voice recognition. There's no reason why it can't.
Yep. I don't branding is that it? But why would Amazon let you do different ones? You can call it Amazon A-word, Echo, computer, Ziggy.
Yeah, so you have options. So just
actually I take that back though, because it has to listen for it. It has to be really tuned into that wake word.
Yeah, but you could record it. It would have to get a sample of you recording it. But Peter, see, I'm glad it can't do that, because Peter would dress up like an Iranian sheik and name his Jared Kushner and boss it around. It'd be all kinds of trouble.
Well, the only way I can contact Peter on any of those devices is he's now Peter the Greek. That's Peter
It
the
sounds
Greek.
like a mobster name, doesn't it? It sounds like Peter should be kneecapping other people instead of himself.
Oh, it was like, Jimmy the Greek now and Peter the Greek. So.
You're not supposed to practice kneecapping yourself, Peter. So, should we talk about that, or do you still have more Sonos
about what,
about?
kneecapping myself? Well, no, I just the one thing that is kind of cool, and I did not notice this. I mean, I knew it sounded kind of familiar, but Gus Fring, Giancarlo Esposito of Los Pollos Hermanos from Breaking Bad is the voice of Sonos. So it's pretty cool, so it's just, and it's, I do like the Sonos. Like I said in another, previous episode, it doesn't try to do anything. It can't tell you the weather. You can't check your email. It can't add things to your shopping list. It can just control Sonos, and all the work is done on box, on prem. So you're not sending stuff out to the cloud, which is, it's kind of cool. So. Hey, see. Sonos, group 3rd floor 1 with 3rd floor 2.
Kind of a cool ceiling view you have there.
Yes, that's because I'm using the built-in camera on my MacBook pointing up. So anyway, there you go. All right. What else
think I have any Gus. I don't have any Gus Fring soundtracks. I've got Hector's Bell.
I don't know that. I don't know Hector's Bell, but you should put it in there if you have it.
You don't know Hector Salamanca's Bell?
I don't think so.
The guy in the wheelchair? Ding, 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 ding.
Oh,
ding.
yeah.
Oh,
ding, ding, ding.
Okay. It's been so long since I watched that. Okay. I get it. I get it. I get it. Hector's Bell. I like it. So we talked a little bit about Masta Do or Masta Don't, but we just basically talked about how, it's kind of hard to, hard to get set up with. That said, I have heard from more than one reputable infosec community person who is saying that there is a mass Twitter exodus as far as the information security community goes.
Yeah, I could tell you that they went pouring into Mastodon.
Infosec.exchange or
a lot of them went to Mastodon.social initially, but there is an InfoSec exchange one, and actually a lot of them are on that. Yeah.
So I wonder if I can just by default follow everyone on there or something. I need to go and check all these things out and see what's going on. So.
Stick your Mastodon trunk up there.
Stick your trunk. Yes, exactly. So, all right. So you got all of your Mac stuff. Adam, you and I have our new iPhone Pros. I already talked about the Ultra on previous podcasts. I did set up Mastodon post accounts. I set up a Nikolaidis and a Paradigm, maybe Paradigm CC now. I don't even remember.
I have bad news for you, Peter. Cross posting is considered gauche. That's another thing about the culture war. You're a cross poster guy. Like, you will cross post from one service to another, and you never go to the service you're cross posting to interact with people or see what's going on. You just use it as a bullhorn, which, well, I gotta be honest.
I did. I don't do that anymore.
Nobody likes bullhorn people.
Yeah, but that was like
they
the
like people they can
grail.
talk to.
That was like the holy grail, though. You could respond to any of those posts,
right? But do you think that? But do you think that other people are actually going to try to interact with somebody that they notice is just a bullhorn? No, they're not going to follow them. They're not going to interact.
Depends on what they're saying.
No one gives it. No.
I think you may not want to follow something.
I think a lot of people might not.
You might be right. But if I was to say, to post something like, hey, I just sold my business and blah, blah, blah. And, we are friends on Facebook, friends on, followers on Twitter, Jaiku buddies from back in the day. If we actually know each other, why do you care? We're like, oh my God, Peter posted that from Twitter. Unfollow.
No, it's not that. It's just that it's not that. It's just what I'm saying is people that don't know you aren't going to follow you.
People that don't know me, that's fine. But whatever. People don't know me.
But the whole beauty of Twitter is that it's asynchronous. It's not Facebook. That's the thing I hate about Facebook is it's synchronous only. So you have to follow all those idiots from high school that you grew up to get away from on purpose.
Well, luckily we haven't been doing that for quite a while now, though.
Right. That's true.
Yeah, I guess my biggest thing now is I had curated a bunch of my followers on Twitter, so I was trying to follow security minded people. But even then,
Right.
they would post a lot of non-security related stuff, you know.
Gee, it's almost like they're human beings with other interests.
Exactly, which is great, but I want to just like get a curated list of genuine security stuff, right? I don't want to use, I want to be able to use Twitter for security news and be able to look in. I don't want to look for a stream. Like if I'm feeling social and I just want to like socialize with folks and stuff, sure, show me people involved in information security. But I also want a way to just show me the latest O-Day, show me the latest exploits. What is APT28 up to today? That's the kind of stuff I want to see. So
what is I'm using Elon Twitter Musk up to today?
Oh my goodness, don't tell me. Ah, brother. But I'm using Twitter less and less these days. Like right now, I don't even, honestly, I do not recall the last time I manually posted anything. The only thing I can remember is like it was retweeting or posting anytime we have a new podcast episode or I put up a new blog post.
Right.
And that's about it. So, you know, if people want to follow me, hey, I'm over there, whatever. So
yeah. Do we want to, so on FWB website, we'll put, so I have my Mastodon links on the friends page. We'll put your Mastodon links on the friends page.
I posted mine. I posted a hello world toot on Mastodon from both of my new accounts, and that's all I've done. So I haven't gotten to like, I don't think I have any followers. I am certainly not yet following anybody, but I would definitely follow you know, you, Scott, and FWB and heck, maybe we need a Blurring the Lines account.
I don't have a FWB account. Maybe I should.
Well, we should, because you can't cross post from Twitter.
We should set up a FWB Mastodon server.
We should. Oh God, a server. Oh my God.
Yeah, but you have to pay for this one.
I was gonna say, if you want that, that's all you.
I'll administer it, but I want you to pay for it.
Sound like my ex-wife. She wouldn't even do the administration part of it. She would just...
I was about to say I don't sound like her because I'm sitting here talking to you, but that's...
fair enough.
So Peter, are we ever gonna talk about the mastodon in the room? The elephant in the room? The not fun part of running.
So yesterday I was out for a standard aerobic run, something that I have been doing pretty much every week for a long time. And I did notice the night before. So the night before I had done I think it was intervals or it was just a recovery run, you know, nothing major. And I did notice in a yoga class I was teaching, I felt a little bit of cramping like in my my left calf or hamstring. Nothing major, you know. I was able to just like, oh, let me just stretch out of that. Okay, moved it on, finished the class, everything was fine. Went out yesterday and I felt a little stiff. Both of my knees felt a little stiff. And now it's normal for my right knee to feel a little bit stiff, especially after I've been doing trails and stuff. So that's why I wear a brace to kind of keep the patella in place and stuff. Because my right knee has always been wonky since I've been like 13 years old. So I'm used to that. But now my left was feeling a little bit like that too. I'm going out on my run. You know, my goal was 70 minutes in the aerobic zone. Got out, I was gone for about 40 minutes, and I happened to be going through this place called Assembly Row, where the local Warby Parker store is. And last week, I had brought my glasses in to exchange them and have them replaced because the prescription was wrong. And I just happened to think, I was like, they didn't call me. I wonder if my new glasses are in. So I pulled out my trusty Apple Watch, which I was wearing, opened up my email, and sure enough, it's like, good news, your glasses are in. I'm like, oh, perfect. So I run into the store, like literally go running right into the stop. It's like, hi, can I make an appointment to pick up my new glasses? The woman says, yep, we'll put you on a wait list. I said, great. I said, can I go around, stay? And she's like, you say, yeah, you're training for something? I'm like, yeah, I'm training. I'll just go do laps. So I go out and I do laps. About 5 minutes later, I'm running around, this place. my left knee starts to hurt a little more. And I was like, wow, that's a little weird. And I had just like put on this burst of speed, to go through this little, almost an obstacle course near the latest, a hospital there. I was like, all right, well, I'll just take a break, see what's going on. So I stop. So I was I had run for about 40 or so minutes. So I stop and I'm hanging out in the store. Everything's fine. They give me the glasses. I wear them on for a few minutes before leaving. They feel fine, because the old ones were giving me headaches in very short order. So I was like, well, I'll just wear them out and I'll wear them while I run home. So, okay, great. So I run and I'm going out 20 minutes later, about 2 miles away. I'm still going. Everything's going just fine. My knees are still a little stiff. There's nothing wrong. And then there's this pop. On the left knee. And I'm like, whoa, hobble, 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 stop. Like, what the hell? Try to walk it off. Nope, this is not walking off. And I was just running on flat, perfectly grooved pavement, nothing I wasn't doing parkour, it wasn't on ice, wasn't nothing, just regular old aerobic running. I only had my watch with me, so I could make phone calls, but I did not have my phone. So I could not call for a lift. I did not have my wallet, so I could not get on the Boston public transportation system. So I did make one call, friend of mine, my running buddy. I was like, I don't even know if you're at home today or if we're at work today, but if you're around, SOS. And I got an automated text message back, like, can't talk right now, call later. I'm like, shit. So I hobbled home, which was a mile left. I took the shortest route that I could and got home, immediately took a hot bath. Then I started icing it, taking painkillers. I was pretty miserable all night. Did not sleep very well at all. Could not take stairs. This morning, and just before we started to record, I actually was able to take the stairs slowly using both legs without any pain. So I take that as a really good sign. Because I think if it was a genuine tear, I don't think I would be, anywhere like within 15 feet of the stairs. And they're right back. They're right there. They're like 10 feet away. So I did make an appointment with a PT and also with my PCP's office on Monday to just have it looked at. And they'll probably going to want x-rays and whatnot. And what almost always happens is I always have some kind of injury or expensive, deductible, challenging event at the end of the year. So of course this happens, I'll probably get an MRI or something, which will get me like halfway to my deductible. And then they'll probably say, go start physical therapy. And then I'll, get about halfway through physical therapy. It'll be all out of pocket. And then January 1st will come around and I'll keep paying out of pocket and not realize the benefits of my insurance. Because that's how things work.
So it sounds like you have a pretty high deductible. Do you have an HSA?
I have both. Yeah, I have an HSA. The reason I have the high deductible is because I pay for a higher plan that lets me choose anything. So I buy my health insurance through the hospital that I work for up in New Hampshire because I negotiated a sweet big deal with them. But I pay extra in the form, like my premiums are the same, but what they really want me to do is get all my care through them. Well, newsflash, they're 2 hours away on a good day. I don't want to drive 2 hours every time I need to see a doctor. So I pay extra so I can go to like Mass General Health, MGH down here, or, something a lot closer. As a result, though, my deductible goes way higher. So yes, I do have an HSA. I never use it. I always just bank it all like in a retirement plan. So it's always got $2,000 or whatever in there, just sitting there waiting. But I treat that as another retirement plan, which I try not to touch unless it's a genuine emergency.
Right. But every time you get paid, money goes into the HSA.
Correct.
So how does it sit at two?
You can store away up to 3,000 something per year, and then anything left over on top of that 2,000 goes into a retirement fund.
Okay.
So you basically have you funded at mine is always sitting at $2,000 of cash ready for expenses, which frankly is not much.
See, mine's a little higher because it's a family thing, so it's like 3,500 or something, and
that's the amount that I can contribute every year, but I have to keep a minimum of 2,000 in it, so it's like the 1,000, 1,500 over that can go into an IRA.
We don't have that restriction, but we never fall that we never fall super low. But I also by the time I've contributed my maximum amount for the year, I don't have quite that amount in there, because we usually have some expense, like something for my daughter or some, I take vision stuff out of that, dental stuff out of it, anything that deductible hasn't hit yet. So yeah. Okay. I gotcha. Yeah. We don't have the minimum thing that I know of.
I think that's federal.
I've never had, but I know I've gone below $2,000 in one specific year when I had a surgery, and no penalty.
I don't think there's
no penalty. There's no penalty for going below. What I'm just saying, my plan, you have to hold that much, and anything extra by default just goes into an IRA once you've contributed more.
What I'm saying is I don't have to have a minimum amount in there. It's not like if they don't tell me you can't go below $2,000 in this account.
But
that's what you're saying.
But do you have a retirement plan also?
Yeah, separate.
Okay. No, tied to your HSA.
No.
Okay, you're not understanding. That is not what I am saying. What I am saying is I can contribute up to 3,000 something per year.
Yes.
And anytime that amount that has contributed has gone over 2,000, anything over starts going into an IRA.
You're using the word minimum backwards then. 2,000 maximum goes into that account. Anything over that goes into retirement.
So I am maintaining a 2,000 minimum, to use your words, but anything over that gets deposited.
You're maintaining a 2,000 minimum by your own choice.
Yes,
you're maintaining a 2,000 minimum because you're not spending it. It's not a minimum. It's not an account minimum.
Okay, call it a maximum then. Whatever.
It's a maximum.
2,000. Whenever I go over $2,000, the rest goes into an IRA.
That's a maximum.
2,000 stays in there.
We need some graph paper here, and I'll show you the difference.
But I can't put any. No, I need a minimum of $2,000 before it can go into the IRA. I can't just say don't maintain any money. So that is the minimum. Not. That's the word minimum.
Yeah, because it won't go in unless it's over $2,000.
Right. So you need a minimum of $2,000, and then you start investing the rest.
Okay. That's a weird plan. That's basically an HSA that you can't friggin' use.
Well, you can use $2,000 of it.
No, because then money won't go into your IRA and you'll get all freaked out about it.
No, it's an HSA that you can't invest on if you use it. But if you don't use it, you get to invest it.
Yeah. Mine's always going in. I've got like $9,000 in mine because we hit our deductible every year as a family.
Yeah. Yeah. Adam's way is better than Peter's way. You need to talk to Adam about this one, Peter.
Talk to Adam about that? Okay.
Yeah. So you need to separate your investment life from your health insurance life. This is what I'm talking about. Your retirement life and your health insurance life need to be separated here, because combining them, you think you're getting the best of both worlds. You're kneecapping both, to use a phrase that you might be familiar with.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So what would happen is I generally would not spend the money in my HSA. That was what was going on. Because
I don't want to be rude.
I don't need that. Yeah.
And probably you won't, and you don't have children, so that helps. But you're not getting younger. Let's put it that way. You're not Jonathan Winters in Mork and Mindy. You're not going backwards. You weren't born from an egg fully grown, and now you're going downwards to be a baby.
I don't understand, Scott. Can you keep going, please? Give me some
you're
more.
going to have more. You know this injury that you just had? Get used to it, buddy.
It's not the first. Yeah, I get that.
It's not the last.
Believe me. Yeah. Oh, I get that. It's not the first, and it's not the last. No, I understand that.
The days of never using your HSA are going to. I'm not going to say they've ended now, but
the clock is ticking. Yeah. Yeah.
Pretty
soon. I get that. I get that.
Pretty soon, I will just have 2 people on my HSA. A few years.
Nice.
Relatively soon. It'll fly by before I know it.
Now, are you allowed to buy mental health supplies out of that? I'm thinking of beer.
I don't want to press my luck with with an audit. I mean, I might have to get my lawyer involved. And, I don't know.
Yeah, because unlike Elon Musk bouncing stock prices up and down, you'll probably be held to the law.
I was going to say Elon could get away with that. I mean, did you guys hear? Did you hear about the FTX stuff, about all the shady business practices going on?
I know that something terrible happened at FTX, but I don't know. I know that they got hacked, but I don't know any of the details.
Well, did they really get hacked, or was it all embezzlement?
Well, that was the Mt. Gox thing, right? Like, that guy just stole it all.
Yeah, and in here it sounds it's really fishy. Let's just put it that way. But apparently, they've been doing an examination of the books, and supposedly, I guess it's the same guy who did the forensic accounting to unwind Enron's books is doing this now, and he's finding all kinds of things. So it's like, yeah, there's a reason that we have regulations for, financial institutions and stuff, and we might be seeing that.
The thing that I didn't expect was someone else to be dumb enough to try that not that long after Mount Gox.
Again, yeah,
right.
Exactly. Yep. But hey, we are human beings. People forget things constantly, so maybe they're just hoping, hey, they'll forget.
So what exactly is the premise of FTX besides we'll steal all your money?
I think that's the extension. That's
okay. But what is the purported purpose of FTX? What? Well,
it was wasn't it an exchange like Coinbase? Same idea.
Is that? But was it that straightforward?
I thought I never used it, so I'm not sure. But that's what I thought it was. I thought it was just another exchange like Binance or Coinbase, for instance.
It is,
and because
cryptocurrency trading company FTX.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, cryptocurrency is kind of a scam to begin with. So
yeah, why would I need something else? I have fiat money. Why would I need a fiat money?
fiat money?
Fiat. I'm going to take my fiat money and convert that into another layer of that, because everything's still based on my initial fiat money, which is based on gold, which is no longer based on gold.
It's no longer based on. What are you going to buy a fiat with, Adam? If you don't have fiat money, then you can have fiat money.
Yeah, I need fiat money for my fiat. That word has lost all meaning.
It has lost all meaning. It really has. Yeah, I mean, the problem, the amazing thing to me is just not only the terrible way in which it decimates natural resources, but what amazes me is just how fast cryptocurrencies became just a total plain as day out in the open scam that somehow everybody buys into anyway. We've all agreed, we're going to believe in this thing that's clearly a scam.
Mm-hmm. And hey, man, they have made ransomware payments so much more convenient.
They really have, actually. Yeah, that's a good point. I guess I should give them credit for that.
For the ransomers,
right?
Ransomers, yeah.
Who doesn't love themselves a good capitalist entrepreneur? So I think that providing that service and making it easier for small fledgling businesses to get going is a good thing.
Oh my God. All right. It sounds like we're winding down. Have we touched on everything we wanted to cover today?
Well, you asked something about fitness or lack thereof.
Yeah, lack thereof. That was the knee.
That was my knee.
By the way, no, I'm not running more. I don't know why you thought that.
I'm getting more notifications on my watch.
You only notice half of the notifications that I do. I run almost. So the thing is that I'm probably actually running less because I'm not doing the same things every day as much anymore. For a long time, I was running and biking every single day. Mm-hmm. Now I'm taking turns more where like one day I'll just do the bike. Other days I'll just run. Yeah. Yep. So there's really no increase.
Okay.
Occasionally
the notifications I'm seeing from your watch seem to be more frequently like I'm getting. Well, that's the other thing too, is that here's the difference though. Now with the latest watch OS, every time I do like a 5K or a 10K, it's like achievement 5K run. I'm like, yeah, but I do that all the time.
Yeah.
Have you noticed that?
Yeah, but I think it's always been that way. I don't think it's just the latest watch OS.
I used to always get the first time. I used to get an achievement. The first time I did a 5K, the first time I did a 10K, the first time I did a marathon, I got achievement. Now it's every time I do one of those. It's like, you just did a 10K. I'm like, yeah, I did, but that's not an achievement. I achieved
the first time when you got them before in the past, that was a different one. That was first 5K or something like that. That was like the first time you've done this thing. It specifically said, I remember, because I used to get those like not long after I got an Apple Watch and I went on a longer bike ride or whatever, it would say, oh, this is the first time you've gone this distance. I'm like, okay, whatever. Yeah.
But this is
maybe
new.
They did.
I believe me, I would know if I was getting told every time I did a 5K, because like every single time I would run, I would get achievement. All I'm used to is like, you just completed a workout. So now it's giving me more achievements. Woo.
Yeah, no, it's fine. No, I don't think I'm running more. I think I'm just alternating more.
And then, ironically,
go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. No.
Well,
I was just going to say the one thing I'm not doing is I'm not doing yoga every single day either now. I'm just doing it several times a week.
Several times a week is still pretty good.
It's enough. Yeah. I actually, believe it or not, I found that if I do yoga every single day, I'm more likely to get hurt than I am to not get hurt, which is weird because the whole point of yoga is to not get hurt. But anyway,
Fair
okay.
enough.
Sorry.
Oh, no. So Peter says, Adam isn't doing push-ups anymore. At least that's what Peter's tunnel vision view from Signal.
Oh, he says you're not doing anything but
Because
push-ups.
Anything but push-ups.
Yes,
Yeah.
because you're not wearing an Apple Watch anymore,
Yeah.
so I don't get your CrossFits and your walk to and from CrossFit and all that. So all I get is
Yeah.
our Signal chat and saying, like, oh,
Yeah.
I just do it. You know, so,
If
yep,
you had
mhm.
Fitbit, then you would notice my workouts. I'm on a streak now, and I'm actually trying. So I looked historically at how many times I was actually making it to CrossFit, and when I saw the numbers of how many times I'm actually attending the class, it was lower than I felt like I was attending. So I am upping my game and trying to get more times where I'm actually in class doing the things I'm supposed to be doing. So
Oh, good for you.
When
I'm
you're
trying
not
to
going to
lose some
class,
weight.
when you're not going to class, Adam, are you doing home CrossFit workouts?
Yeah, so like today
Yeah.
I did well, I was pretty I got my flu shot and my COVID booster yesterday, so I woke up pretty achy today.
Yeah,
Oh.
sure.
So I just did a walk. So I don't run I will run, but I usually don't run down here at the farm because I'm on rocky, I don't want to fall down or hurt my knee and be a Peter.
Well, I was
Could
going to say, don't go
possibly
to
go
Assembly
wrong.
Row or whatever it was called.
Yeah. But so like today I walked a mile and a half, and in between I did push-ups so that I finished my push-up count for the day. And typically I'll do air squats as part of that when I'm not able to go to the gym. But we did wall balls yesterday, so it really wasn't necessary for me to do a whole bunch of air squats.
Wall balls. Oh, I just remembered one thing I wanted to touch on, Scott, and I know it doesn't really apply to you anymore, but who the heck is Bending Spoons?
That sounds familiar. What are you talking about?
They're the company that just acquired Evernote.
Oh, right. I have no idea who Bending Spoons is.
I am not hopeful. I mean, Evernote, you and I used to be, I still am to a lesser extent, like a huge
That's what I
Evernote
thought. I thought you
user.
still used Evernote.
I
yeah.
still use Evernote because there are still things that, I've got just tons and tons of data in there.
Peter, they're about
but
to become Nevernote.
Never
they're about to start bending spoons, moving with their mind powers.
Well, maybe if these people can actually bend spoons with their mind, maybe they can actually figure out what to do with Evernote that'll make it successful again.
Maybe they can. I don't know. All I know is like the prices for Evernote kept on, gradually
Yeah.
going up.
Right, as they were running out of money.
Yeah, pretty much.
Have you seen their logo? I went to their website, bendingspoons.com. Bendingspoons.com. Impossible. Maybe.
Maybe. Yeah, I don't know. They've got a manifesto on their website,
Are you
It
serious?
makes me,
Yeah, I don't trust anybody that has a manifesto.
Yeah.
I don't either. They usually end up mailing bombs through the postal service.
Exactly. There's a manifesto. But so they didn't say like how much of this was, what the price was, right? I mean, because Evernote they were a unicorn, right? I mean, they were evaluated at over $1 billion at one point, right?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you if they were.
Evernote boasts approximately $100 million in recurring revenue, millions of paying customers.
I
Bending
don't have a
spoons,
100.
blah,
I wish
blah,
I
blah.
had a 100 million clip. All I have is this one.
Why make trillions when we could make billions?
Billion?
Ooh. Yeah, so I don't know. I need to figure out. I mean, because I used Evernote for so many things. Like I used its search feature for tons and tons of documents. I used it as a file system. I have I remember early on.
A cabinet.
A cabinet.
File
I don't know if
Throw it
Scott,
on.
if it was you and I, or if it was me and Harlem back on Fresh Ubuntu. But like we did a comparison of Dropbox versus Evernote back when cloud was just becoming a thing. And the advantage with Dropbox was that I was able to, there was a finite level, whereas with Evernote, there was just a finite rate of ingest. So I could only put in this much
Right.
per month, but the amount
You
that
could
I
put
was
in
using,
1 billion terabytes. You could fill up the entire internet with your Evernote
eventually.
cabinet if you wanted to, but you could only trickle it in. It would take you your entire lifetime to do it.
Yep, exactly. So,
Yeah.
but that works for me. And I mean, I've just got
Sure.
so much
Right.
stuff in Evernote, and I'm sure I've forgotten about 99% of it, but you know, it's
Well, that's
like,
what that search feature is for.
there you go. But you know, it's useful though, because like if I'm missing something. Just the other day I was trying to find like some warranty. No, it was my Apple Care. That's what it was. My Apple Care stuff. The first place I looked, my email, and if I don't find it there, I check in Evernote.
You should get
Amazing.
Apple Care Plus on your knee.
You know, if I could, especially if that included a replacement, that would be amazing.
Right. Go to the Genius Bar. Excuse me, I heard a twinge. I felt the twinge. So I was worried when I switched to using Apple Notes. When Apple Notes got to the point where I could throw all the types of content in there that I was putting in Evernote, and I was worried because I was like, if this syncs to all my devices and stuff, I'm going to run out of space. But it really hasn't happened. Now, granted, I am not as unrestrained when it comes to throwing stuff in there as I was with Evernote, but I also found that 99% of the stuff I threw in Evernote I never used again.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like I'm limiting myself on purpose. I'm just doing what I do naturally, and I'm not at all having space issues whatsoever. So,
yep. I remember this is 3 years ago. I started to look for Evernote alternatives, and I was checking out OneNote just because I was,
that's what we use at work for capturing notes and sharing notes.
We had used that at the hospital. We were using that at Mimecast when I was there. I still had Paradigm, and we're moving to the Office 365. We're going to be M365 resellers, blah blah blah. So I was like, let me check it out. I was never like, I could get how OneNote works. I found Evernote easier to use for sure. But I was never able to successfully import all of my Evernote stuff into OneNote. That import process, presumably just because I have so much data, never finished. It never really worked.
Yeah, right.
So that was kind of disappointing. I could export it just fine, but finding something else to import it into was like just not happening.
Your data was so useless. Evernote would happily let you get rid of it, but no one else wanted it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. And go ahead.
Did you really have rich content that you needed?
Rich. Chocolatey.
I mean, I have tables, I definitely have tables and markup, tons and tons and tons of
now you're starting to sound like
attachments.
Syracuse. They're like, what are you doing with all those windows? There's stuff in them.
There's stuff in them. I mean, there's a bunch of garbage in them too. Don't get me wrong, but but there's
I would be
definitely
curious
stuff
to.
I want.
Can we assign you some homework?
Dude,
I would love it. I would love if you just started digging through some of the stuff in Evernote and figure out, just based on a very small sample size, figure out to yourself what percentage of it you think is useful versus it just went in there and you thought I'll need this someday. You could be you could be an e-hoarder.
I am. Oh, totally. I totally am. Like right now, I found an unreimbursed medical expense from 2019. I found an agenda for a conference that I attended in 2018. A picture of my badge from said conference from 2018.
A picture of your knee looking healthy at the conference.
Directions to another conference in 2018.
Man, you were
there's
really
plenty of garbage.
loving the conference lifestyle in 2018.
Yeah,
I apparently was.
Exactly why I'm paperless. So I've got, I do my own little thing. So I've got my notes, my Apple Notes. Those are notes because they're nice and searchable. And then I do everything else in Google Drive. Google knows everything about me anyway, so I might as well make it easier for them. But I dump all that stuff in there. So if I ever have to search it, but I don't, there's no reason to keep most of that stuff.
See, I think the difference between, I think going back to your analogy, Peter, of Dropbox or Google Drive versus Evernote, I think the difference for me is, how do you want to use things? If it's just a receipt and you literally don't care if it's a separate document, that's fine. But if it's in Notes or Evernote or something that has, that you're actually putting stuff into like a cabinet, then it's searchable. Then it's linkable, then it's all these things. Otherwise, it's literally just documents on a drive. It's just a file system.
Yep.
And so I think it actually does matter what you're using that stuff for. If you want a file system versus a filing cabinet with search, think of more like a library index card or something than a filing cabinet, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I like stuff that I just don't think about. It's more like just a bucket of stuff, though, for me. Like I've
Bucket
got
of stuff.
pictures, I've got like old warranties, manuals, like user manuals for things. You know, just throw those in Evernote, and then if I ever need them, there they are. So,
some friends you haven't talked to in a couple of years are in Evernote.
I could throw you into. I could throw you into.
Wow!
Evernote.
Ouch! That hurts. You sure
But
like
there was.
You sure like trunk-based services? Evernote, Mastodon.
There's I forget though, when I first got my new iPad and the pencil, I did start working on, start migrating, sort of like it became my default for taking notes because the pencil integration is so much better than the pencil integration for Evernote. That's really the only reason.
Yes.
And I forget, I think you can go one way, but not the other. I found, because I remember talking with you about it, there was like an article, there were plenty of ways to go from Evernote to Apple Notes.
Yeah.
But there's no way to go the other way around. So,
well, nobody thought you would ever want to do that. So,
well, I would like to just use Notes as my primary note-taking interface, but store everything in one place.
Let's see now with, let's see. I think you can create shortcuts now that allow you to do hand input. Maybe I'm wrong. Or you know what you can do now? Now you can access the Vision API so that what you can do is write stuff on a piece of paper and then just scan it all in, and it can convert it to text for you. Actual text font.
Okay. But wait, using the Notes app, or what are we talking about?
No, using
like taking
a pen and paper.
Okay, so I can write on a pen and paper and then.
Or you could use the Notes app and use the Vision API to convert that text and.
Right. See what I would like to be able to do though is just write. I like the interface. I like using the Apple Pencil on an iPad.
Yeah.
I like that experience, but I don't like the experience using an Apple Pencil on an iPad in Evernote.
But what I'm saying is, you should be able to create a shortcut where you write a note in Apple Notes and it uses the Vision API to get the text from that. I don't know. I'll have to look into it. I think you should be able to make a shortcut now that does all that.
So basically, like make it a shortcut to export from Notes to Evernote. Is that what you're saying?
Not just that, but I guess when you write into Notes, it's already converting it into.
Yeah.
Okay, so the conversion's already done. Yeah. Yes, you can for sure make absolutely 100% for sure. You can make a shortcut to do that.
Absolutely, for sure.
Right.
All right. Well, I gotta get going though, because I
was gonna say you have a hard stop, and we're past that hard stop.
7 minutes ago.
Sorry, Adam. Go ahead.
Oh no, 7 minutes ago was your hard stop, wasn't it?
That's okay.
Okay.
It was, but
yeah. No, I my handwriting is so poor. I have to spend some time.
Yeah.
If I make it legible, I have to write so slowly, I might as well type it.
I'm the same way as you. My handwriting's always been bad and it's gotten worse. And now if I write for too long, I just get pain in my hand.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
We're
make a shortcut to export
products of the system.
Oh no.
Hey man,
Peter's working on his automations.
Imagine those kids in school these days who don't need to learn how to write anymore. I mean, how lucky is that?
They don't even know how to write cursive or
no. My daughter did learn cursive.
Cursive
has been teaching cursive.
Well, many schools no longer require cursive.
That's a lot. It's really local. I mean, my girls did, but a lot of the private schools here or public schools here, they're not even teaching cursive in 3rd and 4th grade like they did when we were kids.
To be honest, it's kind of a big who cares. The nice thing about cursive is it's faster to write. That is the only benefit. And that is the reason I write in cursive now when I do write, because it's easier for me just to do it until I can get more words out before I reach the point where my hand hurts and I have to stop.
Mm-hmm.
But beyond that, does it really matter? Like, we don't write stuff in Latin anymore either.
No.
Yeah.
When's the last cursive note you received from me, Peter?
It's been a while. That said, every now and then when I go into my iPad and I'm in messages with someone, I forget and then remember that it has that little option where you can do like draw either on screen or something. And
Yeah.
I'll do cursive in there sometimes. But I've generally pretty much given up on cursive these days. I usually just, I write block letters, and
block letters.
sometimes you can actually read them.
I don't even write cursive on my checks other than my signature.
Yep. Yeah. Oh yeah.
My signature is different every time. I don't even know why they bother. It's like you can compare this to whatever you want. It's not gonna look the same.
There was a guy. I mean, it's been a few years ago. You may be able to find it. That his signature for his credit card and everything, instead of writing his name, because he figured nobody checked, he drew a penis every time for his signature. And they finally caught on to him, and he got in trouble for it.
I hope so.
But in the signature pad, instead of like signing his name, he was making a penis.
There's got to be a wiener statute somewhere.
On that note, I think it's time we wrap up this show.
Peter, where can people find us now that you're
well, you can now find us at friendswithbrews.com. That's BREWS.com. But you can also find
Friends with Brews.
You can find my knee at Friends
Peter with Brews. BRUISE.
Yes, my knee definitely can be found at friendswithbrews.com. Yep. Adam can be found at sublimecomp.com and rrlavenderfarm.com.
That's it.
All right. Got it right. I can be found at nikolaidis.com, yogawithpeter.com, paradigmcc.com. And Scott, you nuked one of your domains. So where's the best place to find you besides this lovely podcast?
Twitter, Scott AW, or my website, scottwillsey.com.
What about Mastodon or Mastodon?
SEY. Oh yeah, I'm Scott AW at fediverse.cu. That's the letter C, the letter Y, the letter O, the letter U. Fediverse.cu. That's John Chidgey's server.
Yeah.
No, there's a link to it on friend. If you go to friendswithbrews.com and click on friends page.
Yes. Yeah. No, I did see that. Yep. So, cool. All right, folks. Well, on that note, I think we should hit the big red button. Big red button. Big red button. Big red button.
Wait. Okay. So I was going to say which one of you big red button experts is going to hit the big red button, but
big red button.
Peter